And on this episode of Just Flooded Already, we have this from Screen Thrill. The Godzilla -1 sequel is officially titled Godzilla -0. I have said many times on this channel, Godzilla -1 might be my favorite movie of all time. It might be one of the greatest movies, the greatest experience I've ever had in a theater my entire life. That end of the movie, there was not a single dry eye in that theater. I have never seen anything like that before, ever. You could have honestly have taken Godzilla out of the movie, and it would have been fantastic. If it was a movie about a kamikaze soldier that bailed in the very last second, that was afraid to end it all for the mighty Emperor, and he had to just live with the guilt and everything, and had this random woman and her kid living at his house, and he's trying to just mentally rebuild back his life. If that was the movie, it still would have been a 10 out of 10. Then you added Godzilla, the greatest looking Godzilla I've ever seen. If they're going to have a reshowing of Godzilla -1 in my local theater, I'm going to go see that movie. That's how great it was. For me to go pay a ticket price to a movie that I've already seen again, that is a hell of a thing for me to say out loud. But why don't I want to see a sequel? Well, because the first one was perfect. And you don't need to make a sequel of perfection sometimes. That's usually where it starts to go away. Now, sometimes sequels are better than the original. I think Shrek 2 and How to Train Your Dragon 2 were way better than the first ones, and I watched those ones a hell of a lot more than the first ones. However, not every movie does that. The Mummy, probably my top 10 movie of all time. The second one, I don't think it even cracks the list for me. It's not. I don't ever look at the two movies side by side. You know what? I can go watch the second one. That's never happened. Ever. It's always going to be the first one. Godzilla -1 ended perfectly. I know they ended a little bit ambiguous at the end, where it looked like he may have survived. Obviously he did. We don't need to run it back. And I wonder if there. I've done zero research on this movie, so I have absolutely no idea. I don't even want to look it up though. I hope everyone that was in the first one doesn't return for the sequel. I hope it's something like Godzilla comes back from the dead and just his body just goes to another country or another part of Japan, far away from the other one, where the new problems are by a new cast, because we can't have this dude who had an absolute amazing redemption arc at the end, and he's gonna do like, oh, I guess I'll just blow myself up again. We'll just beat Godzilla the same way we did last time. We don't need to do this again, guys. Even though I love this movie, it made a profit because the budget was so hysterically low. It only made $100 million. It wasn't a bill. It should have been. It should have been a $1 billion movie. It should have been the movie that swept the Oscars. I don't know how the hell it only got one nomination. It should have been nominated for everything. I think Godzilla -1 was so good that it should have changed Hollywood forever. Maybe that's why they didn't give it all the nominations. Because if it did, and it was a budget of like $15 million from what I remember, $10 to $15 million. I think the director actually joked about it, saying he wished he had 15. So he reportedly did this movie with $10 million. If you do that with $10 million and make one of the greatest movies I've ever seen, ever, Hollywood has changed forever. Budgets will never be that high ever again. Actresses' payouts will never be that extravagant. I remember like the Smashing Machine, The Rock took less money to give Emily Blunt more money. So I don't know if that's actually true, but I read that. It's like, Rock, you're making a ton of money to be in stuff that no one cares about. You should be paying the studios to allow you to keep being in movies, okay? And if Emily Blunt needs you to give her money, she ain't a star. If she's taking pity checks from The Rock at this point, no. Your stardom is gone at this point. So yeah, back to this though. If it would have won everything, I don't think we would have ever seen a flop ever again. I'm just thinking about that out loud. If this movie did everything right with a $10 million budget and the CGI was fantastic, how come Marvel movies, the budgets are like $250, $300 million at this point? How is that like the Fantastic Four? Yeah, Galactus looked cool, but you're spending $200 million on this movie, and it didn't do well. Where does the money go? I mean, are we gonna go with the conspiracy theories? Everything's a money laundering thing. It might be, because I don't see where it goes. Look at all the CGI. Look at all the memes of how bad the CGI has been over the past few years. Look how bad movies have been for the past few years. You're telling me they did this with a $10 million budget, and somehow Marvel hasn't made a profit in years with any movies, and their shows are all massively flopping, and Star Wars is dead? Star Wars is like 90% CGI at this point. It all looks terrible. All looks terrible. So where does the money go? I don't know. But maybe that's why Hollywood did not give this movie the credit it deserves. Maybe that's why I don't even know where to find this movie. Like, if you don't find it illegally, where is it? What streaming service has it? Oh, it's on Netflix. All right, that's cool. I haven't heard anything about it, though. I haven't heard it breaking any Netflix records or anything like that, so I don't know. Is it a conspiracy theory that maybe they want to bury this movie because it makes all of Hollywood look bad? I wouldn't be shocked. Because, in my opinion, it did embarrass Hollywood. It did embarrass it, and it should have been the Godzilla Oscars. Because I can't think of a single nomination that was not deserving of this movie or anyone involved in it. But back to this headline here. A sequel, we don't need it. We don't need this movie. I really hope we don't get Mecha Godzilla. I know, yes, King Kong Godzilla ones, it's, big monkey. I get it. They're mostly just fun, stupid slop popcorn flicks, and that's it. This movie was special, I think. And a sequel, it's only going to make it worse, I think. But, in the end, what do you guys think about that?